Have you ever wondered why some people become really successful and powerful, while others, who are just as smart and educated, struggle and feel bad about themselves? Why do some people easily attract opportunities, money, and recognition, while others work incredibly hard but never get to the top? It's not about luck or fate or some mysterious outside force. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful is something you can't see. It's hidden deep inside your mind. It's like a hidden program, a pattern, or a frequency that's quietly running beneath everything else. This program shapes every thought, every decision, and every result in your life. And unless you learn to control this program, it will control you. This program is your subconscious mind. And right now, whether you realize it or not, it's either helping you or holding you back. Success isn't about forcing things, it's about alignment. When what you consciously want aligns with the automatic patterns of your subconscious mind, success starts to flow to you. It's not magic, it's about precision. You start to move, think, and speak in ways that open doors, bring new ideas, and attract the right people and situations that match what you truly believe inside. But most people never get there. They try to grab success with their hands, while their mind is going in the opposite direction. They say they want greatness, but their inner beliefs scream that they're not good enough. They set goals with passion, only to watch their subconscious mind quietly, predictably, and consistently sabotage them. So what's the answer? You must reprogram yourself. You have to deliberately change the code that was written for you by your childhood, your failures, your fears, your critics, and your surroundings. You must install a new identity, not just by wishing, but by conscious repetition, strong emotion, and absolute focus. Understand this. Your subconscious mind isn't your enemy. It's your most powerful helper. It doesn't argue or analyze. It simply accepts whatever you give it. Especially things that are repeated often, are emotionally charged, or come from a place of authority. And once it accepts something as true, it starts to build your reality to match. This is why you can want wealth but still end up attracting poverty. Why you can pray for confidence but still act out of fear. Because underneath your conscious desires, there's a conflicting program running. One that says you're not enough, that you don't deserve it, or that success is for other people. But here's where your power lies. That old programming isn't permanent. Your mind isn't a fixed stone, it's a moldable force. And when you decide to shape it on purpose, every area of your life starts to change. You no longer need to force success. It becomes automatic because it's now aligned. The foundation, thoughts, repetition, and emotion. Let's start at the very beginning, your thoughts. A thought is the seed of creation. Every result you see in the world around you started as a thought. But one single thought isn't enough to change your destiny. It must be planted repeatedly. It must take root in the soil of your subconscious mind. And that needs two things, repetition and emotion. Repetition alone just makes things familiar. But repetition with emotion creates belief. And belief is the force that controls your subconscious mind. Every day, you're repeating thoughts. Most of them are unconscious, habitual, and unexamined. These thoughts, repeated thousands of times, become your belief system. Your belief system becomes your filter, and your filter becomes your reality. So, if you want to change your results, change your beliefs. And to change your beliefs, you must change your most frequently repeated thoughts. That's where the real work begins. Start with clarity. What do you want? Not vaguely, not someday, but specifically in detail. Success can't follow confusion. Your subconscious mind needs precision. I want to be successful isn't a command. I am a master communicator earning 7 figures by providing life-changing value to my clients. That is, once you have clarity, create the new script. Don't think of it as a wish or a future goal, but as your current identity. Your affirmations shouldn't be about what you lack, but about what's already true about you. I am focused. I am decisive. I am disciplined. I attract wealth with ease. I solve problems that create value. These aren't fantasies. They are instructions. Now, speak to them with emotion. Say them out loud. Record them. Write them down. Visualize them. The more senses you use, the deeper your subconscious will absorb them. And above all, don't speak against them. Don't contradict them with casual complaints or self-deprecating humor. Every word you speak is a command. Every sentence is a brick in the building of your future. Your environment and identity. The second layer is your environment. Your subconscious responds not only to your words, but also to what's around you. What are you watching? Who are you listening to? What images, messages, and sounds fill your mind daily? Because every input becomes part of the program. If you feed your mind negativity, it will build a reality to match. But if you surround yourself with growth, success, and excellence, you give your mind the building blocks of abundance. You must choose your environment with the same care an architect chooses their building materials. Be ruthless. Remove toxic influences, get rid of distractions, and surround yourself with messages that match your vision. Read books that align with your purpose. Listen to voices that strengthen you. Watch content that fuels your future. This isn't about just getting motivated. It's about consistency. Programming isn't a one-time event. It's a daily ritual, a lifestyle, and the results build up over time. One thought might not change your life, but 10,000 thoughts, repeated with belief, backed by emotion, and matched with action, that becomes destiny. Now let's talk about identity. Identity is like the thermostat of your life. You might set goals. You might even have temporary wins, but you'll always return to the level of your self-image. If you see yourself as average, no matter how much success you achieve, you will sabotage it. But if you see yourself as powerful, worthy, and capable, your subconscious will fight to protect that identity. You must build a new self-image, not through fantasy, but through alignment. Align your words, your actions, and your habits with the person you want to become. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your identity. Every time you show up despite fear, doubt, or obstacles, you etch that truth deeper into your subconscious. I'm the kind of person who wins. And when that belief is deeply rooted, you'll no longer need to force success. It will be your nature. You'll no longer wonder if you'll make it. You'll know. Because success won't be a destination. It will be who you are. The war for your future. But let me give you one final truth before we continue. This process is not passive or casual. It is a war. A war against old patterns, against old voices, against the programming that kept you small. You must fight for your future with thought, with focus, with action. You must become relentless. You must show up daily, not just when it's convenient, not just when you feel like it, but daily. Because your subconscious doesn't care about your feelings. It only responds to what is repeated with enough emotion and consistency. So begin today. Take control of what you allow into your mind. Speak with intention. Visualize with detail. Move with purpose. And build the mind that guarantees your success before the world ever sees it. Your mind is a powerful tool. So powerful that it can either become your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. You don't get to opt out. You're either programming it or is being programmed by the world around you. And most of what's being programmed by default isn't designed to make you powerful. It's designed to keep you small, reactive, and dependent. That's why we're not aiming to hope, wish, or wait. We're aiming to install a new mental operating system, one that produces success automatically, because success becomes who you are at your core. We've talked about clarity, repetition, emotion, and identity. Now we move into the actual working parts, the habits, focus, and mental immunity. Because even after you've spoken the truth, even after you've started to visualize, the real test is what you do consistently, especially when no one is watching and nothing outside you is validating your effort. Habits, focus, and mental immunity. Let's start with focus. Focus is your most valuable currency. Whatever you give your consistent attention to, your mind begins to internalize. Most people lose their power not because they lack talent, but because they lack focus. They scroll endlessly, jump from task to task, react to every message, every notification, every bit of noise. They allow their precious mental energy to be stolen by trivial things, and then they wonder why they feel scattered and ineffective. But you're not most people. You must become a guardian of your attention. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on? What am I strengthening by looking at it? Because where attention goes, energy flows, and energy creates momentum. The person who focuses with discipline becomes formidable. They're no longer easily swayed or discouraged. They are centered, grounded, and alert. Their results build up, not because they work harder than everyone, but because they direct more energy into fewer, more aligned directions. This is where rituals come into play. You must not rely on mood or motivation. You must build systems that run regardless of how you feel. Morning routines, evening reviews, scheduled times for focus, for thinking, for action. The more you automate your day around your purpose, the more your mind accepts that purpose as your identity. Now, let's talk about habits. Habits are the proof of your programming. They're the daily, unconscious actions that confirm who you believe you are. When you build a habit that reflects your goal, you're not just becoming more effective, you're reinforcing your identity. I'm a disciplined person. I follow through. I take care of my body. I invest in my mind. I protect my energy. Success doesn't require 100 different habits. It requires a few right ones, repeated consistently, deeply tied to your mission. Habits like reviewing your goals every morning, like feeding your mind with powerful ideas before bed, like eliminating one distraction each week, like refusing to complain. These sound simple, but they're the tools of reprogramming. Every habit is a vote for the person you're becoming. Make sure your habits are voting in the right direction. Now, a vital principle that few understand: mental immunity. Once you start installing a new identity, once you start moving toward automatic success, the old patterns will rise up. Fear, doubt, resistance. Not because you're failing, but because you're disrupting the old software. Your brain resists change. It seeks familiarity. Even if the old ways were destructive, they felt normal. And now that you're building new standards, your subconscious will test your commitment. This is not a sign to retreat. This is a sign that you are on the threshold of change. You must become immune to the whispers of fear, immune to the pull of old comfort zones, immune to the opinions of people who are not on your path. Mental immunity is not about not caring. It's about discernment. You choose your battles. You select your thoughts. You refuse to let voices that don't align with your mission take up space in your mind. This requires emotional discipline. You cannot allow every mood to dictate your actions. Success is not achieved by being emotional. It is achieved by being intentional. That means you move forward even when the emotion isn't there. You speak life even when you feel tired. You practice gratitude even when nothing outside seems worth thanking. This is where most people give up, right at the edge of transformation. The new identity is forming, but the old one screams for attention. It whispers, "You will never change. This is too hard. Just be realistic." And many believe that whisper. But you will not, because now you understand. Those voices are echoes. echoes of past beliefs, echoes of old programming. They have no power unless you accept them. So, don't negotiate with them. Override them. Say, I am in control of my mind. I am the builder of my belief. I am no longer a prisoner of the past. Declare it with such intensity, such frequency, that your subconscious has no choice but to update its programming. The final pieces: environment, living from the end, and emotional resonance. Now let's touch on environment again. Not just physical, but psychological. Surround yourself with people who think in terms of possibility, who speak with vision, who act with courage. Your subconscious is always absorbing, and the beliefs of those around you become the limits of your own. If you're the smartest, the most driven, the most inspired person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Find those who challenge you to think bigger. Learn from those who have gone further. Absorb the language of growth until it becomes natural to you. Listen to voices that call out your potential, not your limitations. That is not just motivational fluff, that is strategic reprogramming. Now let's go deeper. You must learn to live from the end. This means you don't act just for the sake of acting. You act from the identity of the person who has already arrived. You speak as they speak. You walk as they walk. You respond as they respond. That is how you speed up time. That is how you accelerate results. Most people wait until success arrives to believe they are worthy, but success only arrives for those who believe it before the evidence. That belief, practiced daily, becomes a powerful force. People feel it. Opportunities sense it. Results begin to match it. You are no longer building your future. You are living it. Not someday, but now. And that brings us to the final piece of this section: emotional resonance. What you feel deeply and consistently is what you begin to attract. Not because of some mystical law, but because of mental alignment. When you feel abundance, you start to notice opportunities. When you feel powerful, you speak differently. When you feel peace, you act with clarity. The subconscious cannot resist emotional truth. So, cultivate the emotional state of your desired future. Practice it, rehearse it, anchor it. Let your mind become so familiar with the feeling of success that it begins to make it happen. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your atmosphere. You are building a field around you, a mental, emotional, energetic frequency that reshapes everything it touches. And now, the shift is already underway. You are no longer reacting to life. You are commanding it. You are no longer a servant of your past. You are the architect of your future. You are programming your mind for automatic success, and the system is running. You are now deep in the process. The reprogramming has begun. And if you come this far, I urge you, do not stop. Because the mind, once stretched by a new identity, cannot return to its old dimensions without pain. You have seen too much now. You have felt the fire of who you're capable of becoming. And this final step, this is where everything comes together. This is where automatic success becomes not just a concept, but a reality. Maintaining automatic success. Let us begin with perhaps the most misunderstood principle in success psychology. Belief is not enough without action, and action is not enough without belief. These two are not separate, they are twins. And when they work together, they bring forth results that defy logic and rewrite timelines. So you must not only believe you are capable, you must behave like it, speak like it, move like it. Not someday, not when it's convenient, but every single day in small, deliberate, intentional steps. And these steps, when taken from your new identity, begin to trigger a powerful phenomenon: cognitive alignment. This is the moment when your inner world and outer actions synchronize. When your subconscious mind no longer sees your habits as effort, but as natural. You don't try to stay focused, you are focused. You don't struggle to be disciplined. You're disciplined. You don't chase opportunity. Opportunity begins recognizing you. How do you maintain this alignment? Through vigilance, through feedback, through constant calibration. Success, once automatic, must still be maintained. Not with struggle, but with good management. You are now the operator of a high-performing system, and high-performing systems need tuning. So begin each day not with your phone, not with fear, but with focus. Reconnect to your vision. Recommit to your purpose. Remind yourself of who you are becoming. This is how you keep the system clean, efficient, and powerful. Let's talk about momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that speeds up your progress. And momentum doesn't come from big wins. It comes from consistent motion. It's not built on intensity. It's built on constancy. A person who shows up daily, no matter how small the task, will eventually move mountains. Because momentum builds up. Each right choice fuels the next. Each moment of discipline adds weight to your identity. Each refusal to quit solidifies the truth that you are not the same person you were. This is the essence of automatic success. You begin to behave in alignment so consistently that it no longer requires a conscious decision. The identity leads the behavior. The behavior confirms the identity. And now you're no longer a person hoping to become successful. You are a successful person simply living out their nature, dealing with challenges and the power of service. Now let me address what happens when the world doesn't cooperate, because it won't. There will be delays. There will be disappointments. There will be moments when your reality doesn't yet reflect your vision. And it is in these moments that your subconscious will be tested. Will you go back to doubting yourself, or will you remain in command? This is the test for every builder. Holding the blueprint before the building exists, seeing the invisible before it becomes visible, speaking what you desire even when it contradicts what you see. But know this, every test is a refinement. Every delay is data. Every closed door is feedback, not failure. Automatic success doesn't mean automatic ease. It means automatic resilience, automatic focus, automatic recalibration. When the world pushes you, push back. Not with force, but with identity. You say, this is just a part of the plan. You say, I was built for pressure. You say, this challenge is creating the very strength I'll need at the next level. This is how champions think. And champions are not made on the podium. They're made in private, in the dark, in the quiet moments when no one claps, but you keep showing up anyway. Let's now talk about the most powerful way to strengthen your new identity. Service. Yes, service. You see, when your actions start to benefit others, when your success becomes a way to create value for others, when your work starts lifting others, you reinforce your new identity tenfold. Because now your subconscious doesn't see success as selfish, it sees it as sacred. And what is sacred is protected. That's why I urge you, build something that matters. Build something that has an impact. Build something that solves problems. The more value you deliver, the more your subconscious mind locks in the truth, I am necessary. I am effective. I am unstoppable. Success becomes not just a result. It becomes a responsibility. Now hear me. This is the final transformation. You are no longer chasing success for survival. You are now achieving success for significance. You are no longer hoping to be good enough. You are now walking in the fullness of the truth that you already are. From here, you don't need to force success. It finds you because you've become the kind of person who attracts it naturally. You no longer shrink when problems appear. You solve them with composure. You no longer second-guess your decisions. You trust your preparation. You no longer crave validation. You operate from conviction. That is the proof to your mind's program. That is the evidence that your mind has been recoded. And what's beautiful is this. Now that success is automatic for you, you can teach others to do the same. You can speak from experience. You can lead from alignment. And in doing so, you multiply your impact, your influence, and your income without ever compromising your integrity. Let me leave you with this final instruction. Never stop evolving the program. The mind has infinite capacity. There is always another level. And the moment you settle, you begin to stall. So stay curious. Stay humble. Stay in pursuit, not of success, but of mastery. Refine what you take in. Sharpen your routine. Elevate your peer group. Check your language. Pursue your vision with fierce clarity. And remember, you are never too advanced to return to the basics. Speak your truth daily. Act from alignment. Think like the person you are becoming, not the one you've been. Train your inner world so thoroughly, so relentlessly, that success is no longer a destination, but your default operating system. You are now the programmer, and your life is the masterpiece. Go live with it.